President Donald Trump took to social media Monday to defend North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un over concerns that he was not living up to his end of a denuclearization deal struck by the two men last month. In doing so, he also criticized China and gave what experts called a potential advantage to Pyongyang, which has for decades played off the rivalries of major powers. Despite the North Korean Foreign Ministry's attack on gangster-like demands, following Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's recent visit to Pyongyang and reports suggesting Kim may be continuing to improve a key nuclear research facility, Trump tweeted, "I have confidence that Kim Jong-un will honor the contract we signed. We agreed to the denuclearization of North Korea." He then attacked China over a separate trade dispute, one in which Canada, the EU, Mexico, India and Russia have also sided against the U.S. Trump suggested, China, on the other hand, may be exerting negative pressure on a deal because of our posture on Chinese trade. Hope not. Joel Witt, co-founder of North Korea Monitoring Project 38 North, described Trump's social media strategy as not good. President Trump is clearly telegraphing to the North Koreans that there is distance between China and the United States, that there's running room between the two of us. And the North Koreans are going to use that to their advantage. That's just predictable. They're going to constantly play off the U.S. against China, and so that doesn't strengthen our position, it weakens our position with the North Koreans, Witt said during a 38 North press call Monday. Trump's non-traditional and unpredictable Twitter diplomacy led to some of the more tense moments of the U.S.-North Korea relationship last year. Trump has been chiding Kim on Twitter for years, but the real estate tycoon-turned-politician's words took on a whole new meaning after he secured the 2016 presidential election. Shortly after, he vowed to prevent North Korea from launching intercontinental ballistic missiles or conducting nuclear tests. Related, Trump saves the U.S. $14 million by canceling Korea War Games. That's how much we spend every day fighting ISIS, says the U.S.-North feud heated up throughout 2017. North Korea did both of those things. The rivalry appeared to come to a head, as Trump responded in January to Kim's New Year's threat about North Korea's nuclear button, by tweeting that he also has a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger. The offer spurred a dialogue that eventually blossomed into a comprehensive, rare set of high-level talks during which Kim invited Trump to meet face-to-face. Since he accepted, Trump has mostly praised the young ruler, who then made another surprise move in the name of international diplomacy. He visited China. Unlike his father before him, Kim has been wary of Chinese influence in his country and went more than 6 years without visiting North Korea's neighbor and traditional ally. Experts have described Kim's visit, which came weeks after Trump said he would become the first sitting U.S. president to meet a North Korean supreme leader, as a sign to Chinese President Xi Jinping that Kim was capable of throwing his weight around, not only with nuclear weapons and missiles, but as a statesman. The strategy dates back to his grandfather, who first led the country and played both sides of the Sino-Soviet split between the world's biggest communist powers that supported North Korea during a brutal 1950s war with U.S.-backed South Korea, but later found themselves at odds. With the Cold War long over and the inter-Korean conflict still very much alive, the youngest Kim may now capitalize on an international dispute that for once has left the U.S., not North Korea, isolated. Related, Trump cites Iran media story about Obama that Fox News commentator calls made-up BS, in a bid to protect U.S. jobs and national security. Trump declared in March a 25% tariff on aluminum imports and 10% on steel. He denied exemptions for U.S. allies, who have retaliated with their own duties, and has doubled down on China in particular. Trump has accused Beijing of unfair trade practices and on Friday unleashed a 25% duty on $34 million worth of Chinese goods. The East Asian country responded, setting off what it called the biggest trade war in economic history. Despite this, China has so far supported the U.S.-North Korea talks, making it unclear why Trump accused China of trying to sabotage the denuclearization deal. Kim has met Xi 2 more times since his debut foreign visit in March. Unlike his U.S. counterpart, Xi has been reserved in his criticism of Trump, allowing himself to distance himself and embrace the Republican leader when necessary. Robert L. Gallucci, a scholar and veteran U.S. diplomat, led Washington's direct talks with Pyongyang during a nuclear crisis in the 1990s. During Monday's call, he said the president's style may end up doing more harm than good, and the majority of Americans appear to agree. In a poll released Friday by YouGov, 53% of those surveyed described Trump's Twitter use as inappropriate. I have an unusual and creative thought, and that is that it just may be. That the president's tweeting on the subject of war and peace with North Korea isn't the most useful thing in the world, Gallucci said during the 38th North call. I really don't think they're helpful. As this process proceeds, it's better left to a senior, experienced and professional person to lead these talks, he added.